Hello, Ingrats. We're back with some more Colorado Avalanche franchise mode in FHM 12. And in this one, we are going to get started with the Year 6 regular season simulation. Over this past offseason, we extended Dima Jokin for a 4-year contract, so he's locked up long-term. We traded for Kevin Korchinski, now a member of your Colorado Avalanche, as a 3.5-star ability defenseman. He's 26 years of age, exactly what we were looking for, an upgrade on defense. And then we also signed Shimon Nemets out of free agency, another upgrade on defense, also 3.5-star ability at 26 years of age. And then we also signed Tanner Jeannot for some depth at forward. And then, of course, Gabriel Landeskog retired, so that means Nathan MacKinnon is now officially our captain. We'll see for how long he sticks around. He's already 35 years of age, so he's already getting up there, but we'll see. Hopefully he sticks around for a little while longer. He's still at that 4.5-star ability. So that being said, let's get started with the Year 6 simulation. All right, so we're on December 1st, and we are 13-12-1. Certainly not how I thought things would be going up till now. We are 4th in the Central, and we are currently outside the wild card as Seattle and LA occupy the wild cards for the Pacific. So that's a bit of a problem. Let's take a look at what's going on here. At forward, you have Messar leading the way with 18 points in 26 games played. Then you have Natchez, 17, MacKinnon with 16, Korchinski with 15, Gavin Nemets and Ball with 14, Poulin and Drury with 13, Neuenschwander and Vladimirov with 11, Humphreys and Tuomisto with 10, Jokin only with 9 in 26 games played. Yikes. Brindley, McAvoy, and Makar with 8. Makar only with 8. Jeannot with 7, Meyer with 6 in 12 games played, Shilov with 3, and Malinsky with 3. And then in goal, you have, oh boy, 898 save percentage for Nabokov in 16 games played and 1 shutout. And then for Miner in 11 games played at 886. Yeah, that's a problem. That is certainly a problem. So basically, guys who you would expect to be scoring a lot, such as, Makar, are not really doing that. He's, on pace for 25 points right now. MacKinnon only on pace for 51. And then you combine that with the fact that we're not really getting any elite scoring right now. Messar, of course, leading the way with 18 points. That's good, but is it good enough? Clearly not right now, at least not with the goaltending that we're getting. So that's certainly a problem. I think I might trade Brindley. He wants 4.3 on his extension for 3 years and a no trade clause. And he's not really doing too well right now. And he's a decent counterattacker forward rating, but I don't know. He hasn't had the best grades this season either, 59 and 59 for offensive and defensive. I mean, I don't think he's too big of a problem, but the thing is we have 6 counterattacking forwards currently in Natchez, Messar, Jokin, Brindley, Shilov, and Humphreys. So I'm thinking what we might need is, a genuine sniper, because I don't think, we don't have a single sniper role on this team. Humphreys is another guy I might move because he's only had 2.5-star ability. His defensive category really is not great. His highest rating is counterattacking forward at 13, and like I said, we have plenty of those. So I think we could probably afford to move him. Because at this point, I do think we need to make some sort of move to try to shake things up here. Yeah, I've been looking for a while. I'm really not interested in anyone who's available right now. So I think the best course of action here is to just trade Humphreys for a pick so that guys like Vladimirov and anyone who's possibly below Humphreys on the depth chart can get some more ice time. Because as of right now, Humphreys is on the first line with MacKinnon and Natchez. So I think we need to get MacKinnon and Natchez a new line mate there. Because despite the fact that he's on the first line, he still only has 10 points in 26 games played. I'm not sure if he's been on the first line the entire season so far, but, that's not ideal. Honestly, I'm hoping it's going to be Vladimirov who takes his place on the first line because, he's 19 years of age, 2.5-star ability. He's proven that he's been pretty good so far. He has 6 goals and 11 points already. So I figure why not, give him the chance on the first line. So I think we'll either offer out Humphreys on the shop player page, or I'll see if I can get something from this way. So who's looking for left wingers and wants to give away a pick? The Islanders might be receptive. They're balanced and also want left wingers. Unfortunately, they don't really have the cap space, it seems. However, what if we take Horvat from them on an $8.5 million deal at 2-star ability? That's got to be a terrible contract, right? Yeah, it's bad. And we're on his NTC exemptions list, so we can get him if this will help the trade go through. Yeah, now okay, so what this does, it actually adds a lot of negative value to this side, so we can probably get more than a third. What about firsts? No, okay. Yeah, we we can't get a first, it seems. But maybe we'll be able to get a prospect back here. Let's see. Ooh, so I just found a pretty interesting prospect here. A maged Amadej Hrastnik. He is currently 2-star ability, 3.5-star potential in the team scouting, but consensus has him at a 1-star ability, 4.5-star potential. AD scouting grade, however, so he's a bit of a wild card, but our scouts believe that he may have significant upside potential that other scouts may have missed. So that right there is, I think, a pretty good sign. The strengths and weaknesses aren't too impressive. The strongest part of his game is playmaking, above average stamina, ready to learn. Skating is pretty good. Weakest part of his game is physical play, and he gets hurt a lot. And then in terms of his personality, he'll probably ask for more in contract negotiations, but he can easily adapt to a new environment and is noted for his intelligence. And when we take a look at his ratings, his offensive ratings, some of them, 14, 15. Defensive ratings, positioning is already at 14. Physical ratings, some 14s in there, 13. Mental ratings are a bit low. Determination's at 13. Team player is only at 11. Leadership's only at 6. But he is pretty interesting. And then there's also the right D prospect, Nicholas Christensen. He was a 1.5-star ability, 3.5-star potential for both team scouting and for the consensus. Strengths and weaknesses, strongest part of his game is playmaking, pretty good physical shape, doesn't wear down quickly. Weakest part of his game is his goal scoring, gets injured a lot more often than you'd like to see. Personality-wise, he deals well with adversity, noted for his intelligence. Loyalty isn't a big factor for him, however. And in terms of his mental ratings, I'd say, determination and team player are basically the same for him, both him and Hrastnik's. So I don't think that's going to be the difference maker here. Then physically, he has 14 speed, 15 stamina, 14 positioning. All of his ratings look pretty similar to that of Hrastnik's. So honestly, I think I want to take a shot at getting Hrastnik here, assuming that it's a possibility. Oh, okay. A well-balanced offer. Yeah, I definitely want to try this trade. I think we'll be able to afford Horvat too. Well, actually, we're at 90 million. I think we're going to have to retain a little bit. All right, it doesn't look like that'll be a problem, at least not value-wise. So we're going to have to add a little bit more to this just to push him over the edge. But we're really close. We are really close. So Humphreys and a second would do it. Humphreys and a second in exchange for Horvat at 50% of his salary retained and Hrastnik. So it's a bit of a gamble. I think Hrastnik is a bit of a gamble, but I think I like a lot of his base ratings here. And I think he may, if he's able to live up to that 4.5-star potential, he could end up being a steal of a trade here. So I think we're going to offer this trade and see what they say. And the Islanders have accepted our offer of Humphreys and a second-round pick in exchange for Horvat at 50% of his salary retained and Hrastnik. Complete trade. There it is. So now I will send Hrastnik. Well, actually, he's already a 2-star ability. No, I don't trust that defensive category. I think it would be best to let him cook in the AHL for a little bit, but I hope he is able to come back up here soon. And then I guess we can leave Horvat in there as our depth center there. I can't imagine he's gonna be playing first line like Humphreys was there, so there shouldn't be any harm in keeping him on board, at least for now. Yep, there it is. So Vladimirov's now in the first line. We'll see what he can do with McKinnon and HS. So with that, let's advance and see what happens in December. All right, well, on January 1st, we're 23-15-2, which is good enough for second in the Centrals, so looking a little bit better. Now, we're not in a comfortable spot, mind you. We still have Minnesota right behind us with 1 point behind us, St. Louis 4 points behind us, and then Dallas even 5 points behind us, so we can't, we can't get complacent here, but we're at least looking better. Massar still leads the way in points, 32 points in 40 games played. Natchez with 31, 25 for Drury and Korchinski, 23 for McKinnon. He's really starting to fall off a little bit. They already have 4-star talent now. So I guess good thing I held off on offering him an extension because it looks like he's starting to regress quite a bit. Then you have Neuenschwander and Makar with 22, Poulon and Vladimirov with 21. So Vladimirov looking pretty good so far. Looking pretty good. Then you have 20 for Gavin and Nemetz, 19 for Ball, 16 for Zhilkin, 14 for Brindley and McAvoy, Tuomisto with 13, Jeannot with 11, Meyer with 10, Shilov with 8, Horvat with 7, and then Malinsky with 4. In goal, you have a .906 save percentage and 2 shutouts for Nabokov in 27 games played. That is what you like to see. He's had a much better time of it as of late. And then Minor in 14 games played with an .884. And Rosnick growing a little bit over this past month as well, +1 to agility and +1 to aggression. That is good to see. The backup goaltending is definitely a concern as of right now with Trent Minor at that .884. But overall, we've been doing much better as of late. So I think what I might do here is I'll call up Selivanov, see what he can do. I know he's only a 1.5 star ability, but you know what? We've seen goaltenders in the past before do, much better than what their abilities would suggest that they can do. So he's only at a .907 right now in the AHL, but I figure let's at least give him a shot. We'll see what he can do. And then I will send down Trent Minor. It's going to put him on waivers, but you know what? Whatever. He hasn't been particularly great, so I will do that. February 27th, right before the trade deadline, Nemeth is injured long-term, 2 to 3 weeks. All right, so at least he'll be back for playoffs for sure. But anyway, we are 39, 26, and 3. Good enough for 3rd in the Central Division. So we are still in a playoff spot at the trade deadline, and hopefully we'll be able to hold that. Natchez currently leads the way with 61 points. Messar has 54. McKinnon with 49. Makar with 45, so Makar's picked it up. Poulin with 43. Vladimirov with 40, so Vladimirov having a good rookie season. Drury with 38. Neuenschwander and Nemetz with 34. Korchinski with 33. Gavin and Ball with 31. Tuomisto with 28. Brindley and Zhilkin with 25. Zhilkin's had quite a down year, unfortunately. McAvoy with 20. Meyer with 17. Jeannot with 14. Shilov with 12. Malinsky with 9. And Horvat with 8. And in goal, you have a .903 save percentage for Nabokov in 51 games played and 6 shutouts. And then you have for Selivanov in 4 games played and .876. So bit unfortunate there. I was hoping he'd be able to get the job done, but apparently not. I mean, you never know. It's only been 4 games. Maybe he just needs a little bit more time, but that's not a promising start there. So I guess with that, we will advance here because there's not really much else I could think to do. I would like to eventually solve the backup goaltender issue, but that's always just going to be a shot in the dark. And there's no one on waivers right now to claim anyway, as far as goaltenders go. And overall, we've been doing pretty well recently anyway, so I don't want to ruin anything that we've had going lately. So with that, we will advance past the trade deadline and into the end of the regular season. All right, we have reached the end of the regular season. We finished 50, 31, and 3. Good enough for 2nd in the Central Division, so we have indeed made the playoffs. So it started out a little shaky, but we did end off on a good note. Let's take a look at the player stats. You have Natchez leading the way with 75 points. Then you have Messar and McKinnon tied with 60. Poulin with 51. Vladimirov and Makar with 47, so Vladimirov with a very good rookie season. He's already up to a 3-star ability as well. Then you have Drury with 44, Neuenschwander with 41, Korchinski with 38, Nemetz with 37, Ball with 36, Zhilkin with 35, Tuomisto with 33, McAvoy with 32, Gavin with 31, Brindley with 26, Meyer with 19 and 57, Jeannot with 18, Shilov and Malinsky with 13, and then Horvat with 9. And in goal, you have a .908 save percentage and 7 shutouts in 64 games played for Nabokov, and an .897 and 1 shutout in 7 games played for Selivanov. So Selivanov had a better ending to his season as well. So overall, can't complain. There were certainly some hiccups there this season, but at the end of the day, we did well, and we obviously made it to the playoffs. So speaking of which, let's see what we have in the first round. It should end up being Minnesota. And yes, indeed, we have the 47, 30, and 7 Minnesota Wild in the first round of the Year 6 playoffs. So I think with that being said, I'll end things off here. But not before I thank the channel members. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.